Hello to all of you. This is Dr. Dhaval Maheta, and today we are going to understand various features which are available on IBM SPSS MS interface. Structural equation modeling is a statistical technique used to analyze the complex relationship between the variables. MS, the full form of which is Analysis of Movement Structure, is a popular software tool specifically designed for conducting SAM analysis. AMOS is a software package that provides a user-friendly graphical interface for conducting SAM analysis. It offers various features to specify, estimate, and evaluate the model, including the path diagram that visually represents the relationship between the variables, model fit indices to assess how well the model fits the data, and tools for testing hypotheses and evaluating model modifications. Before we draw the diagram on the canvas of MS interface, we will have to understand the symbols and relationships. Anything which is represented by drawing rectangle on the canvas, it means that it is the observed or the measured variable. If we draw oval, it means that it is an unobserved or unmeasured latent construct. If you want to show the linkages between two variables or two constructs, it is done with the help of one-sided arrow, which represents the direct relationship. If we want to say that the two constructs co-vary with each other, then we are using double-sided arrow, which represents the covariance or correlation between this construct. If we draw this type of a diagram, it means that error E1 is associated with the measured variable V1. If we draw this diagram, it means that the path coefficient on latent variable F1 on an observed variable V1. This diagram means that the path coefficient for the regression of one latent variable F1 onto the another latent variable F2. Residual error here is denoted by D1. This diagram indicates the relationship between a construct and a measured variable. This diagram represents the relationship between the construct and the multiple measured variables. This diagram indicates a structural relationship. Basically, it is a dependence relationship between the two constructs. It typically measures the impact of one construct on the another construct. If we are using double-sided arrow, it represents the relationship between the constructs. Now let's see how we can work on IBM SPSS AMOS interface. So the first thing which we'll have to do is import the data file into the environment of AMOS. So for this, you will have to click here, this one. Select the data file. File name. Let's browse the data file. So I'm using hbat_sem1. Open. Click OK. Now the variables which are there in this data file, you will be able to see by clicking on this icon. Click here. So all the variables you will be able to see from here. So we are having JS1, OC1, OC2 and EP1. So this represents the variables which are there in your data set. Now click here. This represents the variable which are there in your model. Now I want to draw the model. So let's see, I'll pick up the first thing, that is a rectangle. It is an observed variable. Anything which is represented in rectangle is an observed variable. So JS1, OC1, OC2, they are all observed variable or a measured variable, also known as indicators or the statements which are there on the Likert scale, which researcher has collected from the respondents. So this is represented by rectangle. If I pick up the oval, it means that this is a construct. Let's see, there are four statements, JS1, JS2, JS3, JS4. These are the statements representing the job satisfaction. So the job satisfaction is the construct. So oval represents the construct, also known as unobserved variable or the latent variable. If I want to delete anything on the canvas, I'll be using this erase the objects. 1, 2, done. Now I want to draw the diagram which is a combination of observed and unobserved variable. So we are having a very easy option for this. You just click here, this one, draw a latent variable or an add indicator to a latent variable. Now how to draw this? this type of icon will appear. With the help of the right click of the mouse, drag. Now bring this in the center. Depending upon the statements which you have asked for a particular construct, you will have to click you will have to click that many number of times. For example, job satisfaction, you are having four statements. So click four times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Organizational commitment is also represented by four statements. Now you want to copy this. This can be done very easily. You select all objects. It will turn blue. Pick up the photocopier machine from here. Duplicate the objects. And it will duplicate it. Now you want to give the rotation. So first of all, deselect all the objects. If you will not do this, the rotation will happen on both the constructs simultaneously. So deselect all the objects. When it turns black, pick up the this icon which is for rotation. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the way you can rotate. Now I want to represent the relationship of one construct with the another construct. That is, this particular construct is an independent variable and this is a dependent variable. This I can do with the help of one-sided arrow. This I can do it from one-sided arrow. If I want to refine the model, this I can do with the help of the magical wand. Just pick up the magical wand and you can see the diagram will, it will give me the better diagram. Whenever you are using one-sided arrow, and this is your endogenous variable, basically the dependent variable, you will have to insert the error term here. So pick up the error term. This is add a unique variable to an existing variable. You will have to place the error term on this particular construct. You can click 1, 2, 3, 4, wherever you want to put the error term. Now you will have to name this measured variable as well as the construct. So for this, you can use this object properties. You can click here and the object properties will appear, or the another option is double click on it and you will get the same option. Whenever you give the name to this, make sure that the names given here matches with these names which are there in your data set. Let me try to explain it in another way. This is your raw data file, this one, and this we have imported in SPSS AMOS. So whenever you are drawing a diagram and whenever you are giving a name to the measured variable or the construct, make sure that the name matches with the first column of your data file. Otherwise, it will throw an error. So let's go back on the canvas. The easiest way to give the name is click on it, drag it and drop it. But if you go with this method, it will also copy the variable label, which we don't want. So double click on it and remove this variable label, and now it is only GS1. So you can see here that now GS1 is reflected here also. Double click on it, GS2. You cannot use the small s because these are very case sensitive. You should always use the names which are there in your data file. So let's see how GS2 has been written. Yes, it is written in capital. So JS2, then JS3, then JS4. So these are the four statements which are representing the job satisfaction. So I'll click here and I'll give the name job satisfaction. Now I'll click on these statements. I'll click on this rectangle to give the name. So these are the statements which are for the organizational commitment. So OC1, OC2, OC3, OC4, and click here. So this is organizational commitment. So all the names are appearing here. Now you will have to give the name to the error terms. Don't do this manually. Please listen carefully. Don't do this manually. Go in the plugins and click on name unobserved variables, and all the error terms will be given the names. Now what are these error terms? If you recall my previous video, I'll request all my viewers to kindly refer my previous video to understand the flow of this lecture series. The performance of the football team was measured with the help of four players, and they also committed some mistake: M1, M2, M3, and M4. So here also, when we are capturing job satisfaction with the help of the statements GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, it is very unlikely that GS1 will be able to explain job satisfaction 100%. There will be some error in it. So let's say GS1 is able to explain 74% job satisfaction. Then the remaining part is your error. So this is an error which is related to the statements, and this is known as a measured error. The overall error in the model is represented by E9, which is the residual error of the entire model. This is E9. This is again the measured error for the statements, and this is the residual error. The relationship between the two constructs can be causal, that is cause and effect, or both of them can co-vary. But when you are using covariance, make sure that the error term is not used. Let me show you the example. If I am co-varying this, you should not use the error term. So I'll remove this, and I'm introducing the double-sided arrow, which basically represents a correlation between the two constructs. If I want to change the direction of this arrow, I can do this with the help of resize this one. So I can change and make the model better. Moreover, this resize icon, we can also resize the construct as well as the measured variable. So Control Z, Control Z. To do the undo on the canvas, you can use Control Z, or you can use this icon also. So again, I'll connect this and insert the error term. Plugins, name unobserved variable, E9. Now, if I want to select any one object, this I can do with the help of this icon. Select one object at a time. When you will click on it, only one object will be selected. If I want to select the entire model, this I can do with the help of this icon. Select all the objects. If I want to deselect it, I'll use this icon, deselect all the objects. Now sometimes it is necessary to move the construct with the measured variable. So there is an option of this move objects in the form of the truck. But there is one problem. If I use only truck, you can see that the symmetries are not maintained. You can see here the symmetries are not maintained. I am not able to move the entire, you can say, the construct with the measured variable. So I want to maintain the symmetries. So there is one more icon. This is preserve the symmetries. Click on it and again go back. And now you see. So if you use the combination of preserve symmetries with this truck option, you'll be able to drag the entire construct with its measured variable. If I want to give the title to this model, I can well click here and click on the canvas, and I'll be able to give the title. The title is relationship or linkage between job satisfaction and organizational commitment. It can be left aligned, right aligned, bold, italic, whatever you want. So click OK. So linkage between job satisfaction and the organizational commitment. The next icon which we are going to talk about, this one, reflect the indicators of the latent variable. This will reflect it. So when I click one time, the position of one will change. I will again repeat so that you can understand. See, when I'll click one time, this one will be now loaded on JS1. If I will click again, then the reflection will be done. The one will appear here. Again, if I click here, one will go here. So this is reflecting the indicators. When you will run the model, sometimes it will happen that the estimates are not properly visible. So for this, we are having the option of move parameter values. Click on it and move. You can move this parameter values. See this. So for this, we are having this icon. Now I want to copy the properties of this particular linkage here. So there is an option which is drag properties from object to object. Now what are the properties which I can copy is, or rather I can drag is height, width, x coordinate, y coordinate, name, parameter constraints, parameter position. Let's see. I want to drag the property that is parameter constraints. Click on it and close it. I will have to change before using this icon, I have to first select the parts, then only this property will work. Let's see how. First of all, let's do the selection. 1, 2, 3, 4. The selection has been done. Now I want to copy this one on all other parts. So click on this. Parameter constraints are ready. Keep this active only. And now you go here and copy this. And you can see 111 has been copied on all the parts. So this is a way the properties can be dragged from one object to another object. Make sure the procedure is first the selection is to be done, then the icon is to be activated. This particular window should be on, and then only you'll be able to drag it. Let me clear the canvas. This particular icon is used for zooming the particular area. Zoom in on an area that you select. This one for the entire model. This, so the entire page on one screen. By using the magnifying glass, you'll be able to see the microscopic view of the model. You can resize your model with the help of this icon. Resize the path diagram. Bayesian estimation can be done with the help of this icon. If you want to carry out the multi-group analysis, which we will see in the upcoming video, you can click on this and the multi-group analysis can be done. The next thing which we want to do is we want to run this model. So for this, we will go in the analysis property, activate the analysis property. Output. What is the output which we want? Do we want standardized estimates? Yes. Squared multiple correlations, which is basically the R square. Clicked on it. Estimation, which method you want to deploy for the estimation? Is it the maximum likelihood or generalized least square? Normally we go for maximum likelihood only. Do we want do we want the means and intercept? If you want it, click here. So as soon as you will click here, it will immediately place 0 on the error terms, which means that the mean value of this error has been adjusted to 0. Now click here, calculate the estimates, this one, and it will ask the destination where you want to save this model. So let's say it is a demo. Save. The model will start running. This particular window will give you this computational summary. If minimum was achieved, it means that the model worked successfully. Now I want to see the output of this model. So for this, I'll click here, view the text. What is the interpretation of this model? We will see in my upcoming videos, but basically here in this video, we are going to discuss about the interface properties only. So I'll get estimates, model fit, everything will appear here. Let's go back on the canvas. Now I want to see the regression estimates on this canvas. So for this, view the output path diagram, click on it, and you will be able to see all the measures. These are the unstandardized estimates. If I want the standardized, click here. These are standardized estimates. As soon as I click on this output path diagram, many of the icons will become inactive. It will not allow me to change the model. If I want to again go in the edit mode, I will have to click here and then I will be in the edit mode. I want to copy this model on my Word file. So this I can do it with the help of this icon. Make sure that you deselect all the objects. Everything should be in black. Then click on the copy the diagram to the clipboard. Click on it. After clicking on it, go in the Word file, press Ctrl V or paste, and you will be able to paste your diagram in the Word file. Now there are some interface properties which you want to change. Say for example, if you feel that your canvas is small and you want to increase the size, this we can do with the help of View Interface Properties. Here, change the paper size. Make it A4, A5, depending upon your requirement. So let's keep it simple. Portrait, letter. Here you can change the formats, colors, whatever colors you want in your diagram. Next thing, all these things you can keep it default. Page layout. This also keep it default only. Now there are when any plugin is installed, it will appear here. All your plugins will appear here. So this was all about the interface properties of IBM SPSS AMOS. For more videos on SPSS AMOS, kindly subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the like button. You can also refer my playlist in which I already uploaded many videos on IBM SPSS AMOS.